Thank you for watching tonight. A former MDC corrections officer may now face jail time himself. Albuquerque police say it's a former guard who is under arrest after hitting and killing a man with his vehicle last night. Monica Logroño is here with what we know about this investigation. Monica, it involves a love triangle and some prior run-ins with the law.
That's exactly right, Tommy. This suspect, Christopher Facey, used to work as a corrections officer. A Metropolitan Detention Center spokesperson said he separated from the county in 2021. They tell us several former MDC employees were involved last night in this incident where police say Facey intentionally ran over his lover's husband. We want to warn you, the video in this story is disturbing. Saturday, families came to play or walk their dogs at the Santa Fe Village Dog Park, only to find blood across the pavement and the remnants of crime scene tape in the parking lot. It's a stark reminder of the crime that happened just hours before. Friday night, police say former MDC corrections officer Christopher Facey ran over Guadalupe Maldonado on purpose and fled the scene. According to a criminal complaint, Facey met with Maldonado's wife around 11 p.m. She and Facey had been having an affair for 2.5 years. They were sitting in Facey's car when Maldonado came to the lot with his friend and confronted her. In her witness statement, she said she told Facey to leave, and before she got out of the car, he already started driving. Then, Maldonado stood in front of Facey's black truck with his hands in the air. Facey hit Maldonado and kept driving. Maldonado's wife and his friend took him to the hospital where he died. By the time officers arrived on scene, they said they found blood, a gray hat, one shoe, and shattered eyeglasses. Police were able to catch up with Facey Saturday morning and arrested him. Facey is charged with second-degree murder, accidents involving death, and homicide by vehicle. A woman who wanted to remain anonymous says seeing blood is unfortunately all too common in this area.
This is a very difficult thing to see, but usually it is a very common thing that we have found clothing that was ripped and discarded and full of blood.
Facey has been accused of aggravated battery twice in the past. In 2016, he was accused of assaulting an inmate in the Metropolitan Detention Center. He received 6 months probation for that. In 2021, a girlfriend accused him of imprisonment and battery. We posted MDC's full statement about Casey's employment on KOB.com. Tommy.
Thank you, Monica. Surveillance video like this plays a huge role in solving crimes in Albuquerque, especially in robbery cases. But the detectives can't do it all on their own. Spencer Schott spoke with Albuquerque police about a specialized department of civilians that's helping detectives gather the evidence they need.
Back in November, police were called to the Pizza Hut on Wantabo after a masked man armed with a handgun cornered an employee in the parking lot and made him open up the safe inside.
We see that there's video surveillance available. It wasn't available to the field officers that actually responded to the call. So my investigator asked the divert team to go and retrieve that video surveillance so that we could look and see if there was any identifying information of the offender.
This particular group was Divert, a digital imagery video response team. And what they did is they went and recovered some video based on a request from one of the detectives.
Sergeant Wood says he only has 4 detectives on his robbery unit, so having this extra group available to gather evidence really helps in their investigations. So back to the Pizza Hut robbery investigation. After leaving the back of this Pizza Hut, the suspect, Christian Orozco, ran through the back parking lot and then down this alley. But little did he know there were even more cameras back here.
So they started following that same pathway of where this individual took off and saw that in the alleyway there was more cameras from a Domino's down the street.
That surveillance video captured Orozco walking through the parking lot next door, taking off his mask and going into the back door of a Wendy's, where police later found out he worked. But they would have never known that without the help of the divert team.
It solved the case. So the divert team member that went out was asked to get the video from the Pizza Hut. They took the initiative to go and find surrounding businesses that also had video of the offender walking south through the alley.
Once they ID'd the suspect as Christian Orozco, they found out this wasn't his first run-in with the law. In fact, police say he was wearing an ankle monitor when he was seen robbing the Pizza Hut at gunpoint.
The icing on the cake was that ankle monitor. We were able to contact his probation parole officer, and they provided GPS points of him going from his place of employment to the Pizza Hut to commit the robbery and then back to the place of employment.
Orozco is now back in jail up in Taos County for his parole violation and warrants, but eventually he'll have to come back here to Albuquerque to face his latest charges of armed robbery. Spencer Schott, KOB4.
We're learning more about a gruesome child abuse case that's left one child dead. As more information comes out about what happened, it's leaving investigators with even more questions. Tamara Lopez has been following this story for us. And Tamara, part of what makes it so complicated right now is how many people are involved.
Yeah, Tommy, 4 people were arrested after a 3-year-old girl was taken to a UNM hospital for severe injuries. And we want to warn you that some of the details of this case are very disturbing.
State versus Carrie Santos.
Carrie Santos was very emotional in a court appearance Friday. She's facing several serious charges, including child abuse, resulting in death after she brought her 3-year-old daughter to UNM hospital, already dead and covered in bruises last week. Santos and 3 others were later arrested after investigators say Santos' story did not add up about why the 3-year-old was hurt so badly. Police say the little girl had bruises healing at different rates around her wrists, ankles, forehead, and underwear line. Court documents show Santos told police she was leaving Massachusetts to get away from a bad situation, and that she'd just gotten to town 30 minutes before taking the little girl to the hospital. Santos told police the little girl fell off a toilet and hit her head at a rest stop, but investigators say her other kids told them another story. Court documents say Santos did not want to go to the hospital because there was police there. James Welch was also in court Friday. Police say his apartment in Southeast Albuquerque is where much of the abuse happened.
The older sister, who was subject to the safe house interview, she detailed that the child had been tied up, and she demonstrated this with a doll. She demonstrated that the child had been tied. Her ankles had been tied together, and she'd been tied to the corner of the bed.
According to police, the child said she and her siblings were frequently groped by adults and that her mom just stood and watched. The state argued all 4 adults, including Welch, would have witnessed the abuse because Welch's apartment is a small studio.
Judge, this is a child that based on the evidence that we have here, was beaten to death.
And that Welch did nothing to help the 3-year-old. Welch's lawyer argued that Welch was only told about the abuse and did not see it.
But no one has claimed that Mr. Welch did anything to this child.
The judge ruled Welch would be released ahead of a possible trial. Austin Bing was also in court. His hearing was rescheduled until next week. According to police, Bing and his mother, Christina Hopkins Pena Cantor, were in the car driving to Albuquerque with Santos and her kids. Now, an official cause of death for the 3-year-old girl has not been determined yet, and Santos's 2 other kids were taken into CYFD custody for a 72-hour hold. We asked where they were now, and a CYFD spokesperson said the agency could not release that information to us. Tommy.
Thank you, Tamara.
Officers in the Albuquerque Police Department under federal investigation. Faith Urbano was live after talking to the neighbors of some of the homes that were raided.
Yes, right. Neighbors telling us they had no idea an FBI raid was going on, some pointing us to one of the homes of the police officer that was searched. This officer live here. Is he here?
No.
Okay, and are you related to him by some sort?
Am I what? Sorry?
You're related to him?
I'm his wife.
You're his wife? Okay, and he's not home right now?
No.
Okay, thank you. A federal investigation involving Albuquerque Police Department's DWI unit. The wife of one of the alleged officers involved telling us he isn't home. APD confirming the investigation last night, just hours after our Target 7 team broke the news Thursday morning. KOAT visiting the homes of 2 more alleged officers involved today. Neighbors telling us they had no clue of an FBI investigation, but confirmed with us another alleged officer involved lives here. A few knocks, but no answer.
To leave a message, please press the doorbell again.
We also headed to a local attorney's office with alleged ties to the case. The address directing us to this home. A few knocks, but no answer. No answer, the door boarded up with 2 strips of wood. The Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office dismissing more than 150 DWI cases Thursday due to the ongoing federal investigation. All of the cases worked by the 4 officers whose homes were raided Thursday. And we are not naming anyone who may be involved in this case because charges have not been filed. In Albuquerque, Faith Iwanu, KOAT, Action 7 News.
An APD patrol car marked as part of the DWI unit was towed from one of the officers' homes in Los Lunas yesterday. Neighbors telling us they saw that officer placed into the back of a car with handcuffs.
The Albuquerque Police Department facing controversy after the FBI raided 4 officers' homes shortly after the DA throwing out over 150 DWI cases. Reporter Alyssa Munoz joins us live. Alyssa, how do things look for the department moving forward?
Yeah, John, law enforcement experts say that this takes away the trust from not only the department, but the legal system. Thursday morning, federal agents searched a home in Los Lunas. An APD patrol car marked as part of the DWI unit also towed away. Sources tell us at the same time, the FBI was also raiding the homes of 3 other officers as well as an attorney. Those 4 officers all worked the cases that are now dropped. Former Bernalillo County Sheriff Darren White says this is detrimental to the department.
The public will demand that there is a thorough investigation, not just involving those who may be involved in these crimes, but the people that should have known something about it.
White says as a police officer, you hold a lot of trust and responsibility by being able to take away someone's liberty, and that's why this is crucial.
You're talking about potential public corruption from everything that we've heard. Questions that need to be asked right now is how could something this detrimental to the department culture and ethical compass, how could this have occurred?
White also says DWI officers are some of the highest paid officers because of the amount of overtime they earn while testifying in court.
But I think a lot of the officers are going to be, let's say, look, these guys make, some of them can make upwards of $200,000 a year. Why wasn't that enough? What would drive someone that has taken that oath of office, to potentially end up in prison?
On Thursday, APD did tell us that they are cooperating with the FBI and that there are several officers that are on paid administrative leave. Reporting in Albuquerque, I'm Alyssa Munoz, KOAT Action 7 News.
Alyssa, thank you. This story will continue to develop over the next week. Get the free KOAT app and sign up for breaking news alerts to get those new details as we learn them.
Sweetheart, honey, what's your name? Can you look at me? I'm Sergeant Stokes. They're doing everything they can. I need you to hang on.